walls with boughs of Pauline. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Don we now our gay apparel. Join the ancient Yuletide carol. Oh Lord, yeah! Now in darkness will sound burning. La 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 la. Ashes there and bodies burning. La 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 la. No more war pigs have the power. La 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 la. And the goddess from the hour. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. We are, I'm on StreamYard tonight. We have, whoa, don't want to do that again. Hang on. No. Let's go back here. Again, thank you for clicking on. I'm on StreamYard software tonight. So it's a little bit different than what I've been used to, but we'll make it work. And we'll say hello to everybody. Hi, Guy. Hello, always be kind. Thank you for watching, you guys. I'm going to be on tomorrow night beginning at 7:30 Eastern time with the fourth Republican presidential primary debate. And we'll have a watch party, and hopefully you will hopefully you'll join in with us. Let's see. Let's start out with, again, the title of tonight's show is One Race, the Human Race, and other important topics. We're going to run through those topics real quick here, and then touch on something we talked about in our last episode with Chris on Monday night. We begin with this. Biden tells donors he's, quote, not sure I'd be running, end quote, if in 2024 if Trump wasn't in the race. There are literally two men, both of whom are over 75 years old, and both of whom are really only doing this. One is doing it just, they're doing it like almost to spite each other. Of course, Trump's got much more skin in the game because he kind of has to win to pardon himself. So that there's desperation that is going to be creeping in there, and probably sooner rather than later. But okay, here we go. It's the Twitter scroll, formerly Twitter, now X, and we begin with there is rumors going all over the internet that Trump has been diagnosed with dementia. After hearing a couple of clips from a couple of speeches, not sure. I don't know. But again, two men basically kind of holding everything hostage. And not only these two men, but the political parties behind them. And we will talk about that. We got some serious stuff to talk about. So before we get into too much serious stuff, let's be reminded during the holidays that young ears often pick up things they hear and tend to repeat them.
A fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
No, what did he do before?
With your hot dog.
I forgot. Fucking egg.
Hey, Mara, how's that apple juice?
Good.
Yeah, it's good?
Fucking good.
B say.
Bitch. Are you fucking killing me?
Where did you hear that?
Fucking kill me.
Who taught you?
Fucking kill me.
Who taught you?
What did you say about the dogs?
You just pee in my room.
But what is Gus?
Gus pee in my room.
Yeah, but what did you say to him?
You just say, fucking dog.
It's what?
Fuck again.
It's what? What?
Fuck.
What is it?
Fuck.
It's fat.
Yeah.
No, it's not working.
What's wrong with you?
Fucking season.
You're what?
I'm fucking season.
No, you were asking what do I say a lot?
Say, oh shit. And I tell you not to say, oh shit. It's a bad word.
Oh, okay, you don't say it too, okay?
I won't. Oh shit.
Hey. That's bad.
Okay, now we're gonna crack this egg into here, okay?
Oh shit. Not yet.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Sticky bitch. Bitch.
Okay. Once again, just a public service reminder that young ears are often listening, maybe when you're not expecting, or maybe when you're not aware, and they often repeat. This comes from the World Economic Forum. Our message was clear. We have rules which have to be complied with, and otherwise there will be consequences. They're basically threatening Elon Musk and the owner of the site that we are currently referencing, X, formerly known as Twitter. And let's show the whole thing here. We have rules which have to be complied with, otherwise there will be sanctions. And here's where you can watch the entire thing on the tube. Our next important topic to touch on: Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro claims that the disputed region in Guyana is now part of Venezuela and has authorized oil exploration. This came in 3 hours ago. Maduro indicates it has created a specific military division for the area disputed with Guyana and grants licenses for oil exploration in the Essequibo region. Some analysts are looking at this and point out that thus far it's all been posturing, much of it likely for internal consumption. I think that's BS. I think there's a major conflict potentially brewing between, and Argentina. The United States will be there with advisors. But it's something we need to be aware of. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian signed a declaration in Moscow with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov, and they're on the two of them working together to circumvent sanctions that are going to be placed on, or have been placed on, each one of them. Israeli Defense Force says it has fired over 100,000 artillery shells at targets in Gaza since October the 10th, I believe. No, it wouldn't have been. It would have been since. Wouldn't have been that. It had been even sooner than that. I mean, closer to now. Sooner. It would have been like the first week of November, I think, is when they started the ground offensive, because prior to that they've been all airstrikes. In the suburbs of Washington last night, during searches in a residential house, there was an explosion. Law enforcement officers wanted to enter one of the houses with a search warrant, but the suspect responded by firing a rocket launcher. As a result, the rocket launcher shot triggered a gas line and a gas explosion. Human remains have been found, and this is obviously one of the big stories on the internet at the moment. Another big story on the internet at the moment, I'm not going to address it with a particular video, but the fact that WikiLeaks dropped a whole bunch of their files into public view. Some of the Hillary Clinton email files, those that remember the the kerfuffle that arose from all of that. Some of those files are available, and you can find them on various sources online. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is going to, we have to blur some of the faces. People participated in the event on that day because we don't want them to be retaliated against and to be charged by the Department of Justice. So basically he's saying, you know, we're going to show all this, but some of this stuff might not be so good, and the people doing it might get in trouble. So if that's what he's saying, and it sure sounds like it, that's impeding justice, and a very dangerous thing for everybody. First pictures of the Israeli army starting to pump seawater in the Hamas tunnels in Gaza to flush out the terrorists, and you can see they're laying pipe from the sea up towards up towards the civilian population. There's other pictures out. This came in 7 hours ago. There are other pictures out of them in the city itself, and they're saying that they can do this because Hamas has said that civilians don't use the tunnels. The tunnels are for Hamas only. A lot of people are going, you know, Israel's doing this without knowing where the hostages, the rest of the hostages are, and with a lot of us in the amateur analysis business saying the hostages are in those tunnels, and they're getting ready to flood them. So just keep that in mind. U.S. clashing with Israel over Gaza war timeline. Anthony Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State, told Israeli officials that Washington wants to wrap up the invasion by the first week of January. Why is that important? Because January 15th, a little over 5.5 weeks from right now, will be the first presidential primary. Then the first caucus will be, I think, 12 days later or 14 days later. So we are right around the corner of beginning primary season, when states will select who they wish to have on the ballot of the two political parties that at the moment control things. Things could get interesting with third-party candidates, especially with Liz Cheney now hinting pretty strongly that she's considering to making an independent run, which would make her, it would make Cornel Wilde, it would make Robert Kennedy Jr., who we've got a little something to think about on him coming up here in just a couple of minutes. It would possibly make the No Labels group, who would probably put up the senator from West Virginia, Manchin, that just stepped down. Okay, this came in 5 hours ago. Israeli Defense Force has stated they regret the incident earlier today in which Israeli troops reportedly opened fire on what was believed to be a Hezbollah position in southern Lebanon, but instead struck an outpost of the Lebanese army, which resulted in the death of one person. So I'm not really certain. We'll have to ask Chris this Friday night. What's the difference between between Hezbollah and the Lebanese army? Because Hezbollah is the primary controlling factor in Lebanon. Last night's episode, I had a thing about the number of Chinese men that were being apprehended sneaking across the U.S. southern border, and what an anomaly that appears to be when supposedly the thought patterns are that only Hispanics are coming across. Well, in Pasto, Colombia, Muckraker, the muckraker.com, shout out, go there. Muckraker found a hotel packed to the brim with military-aged Chinese nationals who were headed to the United States. And I'm going to pop this out. And we'll listen in for just a few moments.
Rio Mayo Hotel. And this hotel that we stumbled upon by accident is a major hub, a major transit point, meeting place for Chinese foreign nationals that are on their way to the United States. And last night when we were here, we were eating at this hotel restaurant, and we were the only foreigners that were not Chinese. I mean, literally the entire hotel is just Chinese foreigners. We spoke with the hotel staff here, and they confirmed that. And while there are some women and children, it's mostly military-aged males. There's some right behind me right now, actually. We showed you in a previous video of ours a Chinese blueprint that's distributed amongst Chinese in WhatsApp groups. And this is actually one of the stops on the blueprint. It says to stop in Pasto. That's where we're at right now. We're on the outskirts of Pasto. The point is that the Chinese have very sophisticated, quote-unquote, migration networks all the way up to the U.S. border. And this hotel that we're at is proof of that. It's all Chinese, and for some reason they all know to come here. It's because they are in direct
I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I do know what's going on here. Okay, that's enough of that video. If you want to see the rest of it, go to muckraker.com, and we'll move along. Dr. David Martin, this came in 22 hours ago. Dr. David Martin informed 16 members of the UK Parliament that COVID was a 56-year plan in the making, which started in the UK when the Wellcome Trust decided to use the coronavirus as the preferred form of human manipulation, quote, end quote. Just Google Wellcome Trust if you want to explore that a little bit further. Again, this is one of those topics for tonight. The World Economic Forum contributed Marianne Mazzucato. Let's just listen to a few moments of what she has to say once it starts.
That's also, of course, true with COVID, right? We are all only as healthy as our neighbor is on our street, in our city, in our region, in our nation, and globally. And did we solve that? Like, did we actually manage to vaccinate everyone in the world? No. So highlighting water as a global commons and what it means to work together and see it both out of that kind of global commons perspective, but also the self-interest perspective, because it does have that parallel. It's not only important, but it's also important because we haven't managed to solve those problems which had similar attributes. And water is something that people understand. You know, climate change is a bit abstract. Some people understand it really well. Some understand it a bit. Some just don't understand it. Water. Every kid knows how important it is to have water. When you're playing football and you're thirsty, you need water. So there's also something about really getting citizen engagement around this and really, in some ways, experimenting with this notion of the common good. Can we actually deliver this time in ways that we have failed miserably other times? And hopefully we won't keep failing on the other things. But anyway.
The common good is a key phrase you hear a lot coming out of groups such as the WEF. We're going to get into some conspiracies coming up here. Not when Chris is on, of course. We don't do it, but coming in an episode really soon. There's some things that just we need to just kind of point out, including who actually owns the United States debt. 13 Democrats and 1 Republican in the U.S. House of Representatives just voted nay on a motion to condemn anti-Semitism, while 92 other Democrats only voted present. I'm not sure what to make of this. 92 Democrats voted present, and only 13 voted with 1 Republican to condemn anti-Semitism. But it is something to think about. Again, WikiLeaks just dumped all of their files online, everything from Hillary Clinton's emails, McCain being guilty, allegedly. Vegas shooting was done by an FBI sniper, allegedly. All of these things alleged. And if you do want to see where you can find them, it's real simple. file.wikileaks.org/file/. And that wraps up our other topics. Now on to one race, the human race. And we're going to allude back to last night's episode with Chris, where he was talking about how if you go by the Bible, all of humanity that exists now, we exist now after what was known as the Great Flood that wiped out all of the rest of the humanity. Again, this is based on Bible. This is not going to be based on, so if you come at only the science perspective or only the geological, whatever, what we're talking about, what we talked about last night was based only on the Bible. So based on that, the great flood that wiped out everything except Noah and his 3 sons, if that is the case, all of us on earth are interrelated. We are all related somehow way down the lines, because we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. All right. And so that's the theory. And one of the things he mentioned again the lines of the sons of Noah. And I'm going to play just a couple of moments of this video, and you'll know why, or I'll tell you why. Japheth is up here, or Japheth. Generally, the J's a Y, but it's debatable. Welsh people. My last name happens to be Welsh. Just saying. Yeah, that's supposedly by genealogy. That is indeed true. Hitler actually had some descendants of Noah in his bloodline. So the point of the point of all of this is there is no if you're going by biblical lineage and everything's in Genesis, and a lot of the one of the big complaints about going through the Old Testament is you get into this he begat and he begat and he begat and he begat. What's all that? Why? Well, the lineage is significant. Okay. We're not going to get into that. That's too much detail, and I'm not going to go on a whole lot longer tonight. What Chris said was about Japheth's line was that, and it was considered a mutation. Okay, that there was a change in some part of the DNA that made Japheth lighter than Shem, who was lighter than Ham. So that is intertwining DNA and geology, archaeology, historical text studies, all kinds of different things, and it's all it's theory because we don't have any proof of any of it. We have hints, we have the Bible, and with that being said, Ham's genealogy. I should have had this up when Chris was talking last night, but he was talking about Put and about Cush and about Canaan and about Mizraim and Cashiam that became the Philistines. Okay. And we're going to touch on all this again on Friday night. I hope you'll join us. Normally it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're on at 9:00, but tomorrow night, Wednesday night, actually now it's 12:06 here on the eastern part of the United States time zone wise. And so it's officially Wednesday here. Tonight, then, we will be doing it live at 7:30, starting the watch party and the debate starting around 8:00. So that's Ham. Now, the other son of Noah was Shem and Elam. And Elam is the line from which Moses comes, and the line, therefore, which the priestly tribe, the Levites, can trace themselves back to Elam. And you go back up to Noah, again, I don't have this on the chart, but you go back up to Noah and there are like 5 generations. We know Adam and Eve had 2 sons. They actually had 3 sons, Seth being the third. And most of what we're seeing here has come down through Seth from Adam and Eve, according to the Bible. And Adam and Eve had a lot of other children. So what we've got here are the lines that Chris was talking about last night. And all of these lines have intermixed, third cousins and second cousins in different countries. And it's interesting to really study. We're not going to go through the whole thing tonight, but if enough people want to, we will at some point. But hold on. I had this queued up. Okay, we're not up there yet, so I had this all queued up to where I wanted to go. Just bear with me just for a second while I do a little bit of editing on the fly. Here we go, right there. And there we go. All right. Let's see if I do this. Can I still do that? Yes, I can. Okay, so basically, this just gives you an example of what it might have looked like as far as the only thing really separating all of us is the pigment of our skin on the insides. With the exception of some politicians who, you cut them open, you find out they're spineless and brainless, and that's a joke. Basically, the darkest pigments were from these regions right here, followed by the still dark but not quite as dark, and again, getting lighter the farther north you go. Now, there's also theories that our DNA is constantly evolving and adapting, and that if say me, someone of fair skin, were to move to an equatorial region permanently, that within like 5 generations, my descendants would look like the native people out of necessity through genetics. So I don't know. It's just something to think about. Now, how did the people get to America? How did the people get, China? How are all these different? How did people get into all these different places? If indeed science is correct, and you can trace everything back down to what is the Bible says was the Garden of Eden, the birthplace of humanity, where all the 3 rivers come together, and it is right in here in Africa. So we're going to show that on Friday night as well. But if that is indeed the case, then how did people get everywhere else? And another part of this theory is that, again, there was the earth looked much different millions of years ago, or hundreds of however far back we have to go to find out when it all started. And again, everything we're talking about is theoretical. But if you look at the continents, you can almost, like a puzzle, piece some of the areas together. Some fit better than others. But one of the theories is that at one time it was a giant landmass, all interconnected. So it wouldn't be that hard, actually. The heart of if indeed humanity's birthplace is right here in Africa, it's right in the middle, to where you can spread all through all the areas. A couple of things biblically lead to this. We talked about the lines. Let me see if I can remember which one of the lines. Was it in Shem's? I think it was in Ham's line, where one of the sons of Ham's son, one of those sons is mentioned in the Bible, and his name can be interpreted as earthquake. And so the Bible might even, if that translation is shaking of the earth, if that translation is accurate, then it could possibly lead us to that the earth was once all interconnected, and broke apart to the North American continent going this way, with Eurasia going away from it. That once, if this earthquake would have had to been absolutely massive, of course we can't comprehend it at this time. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. But it would have had to be so strong that it would have broken the continents apart and sent them drifting, which is plate tectonics, drifting over the mantle to the various places they are now. But it's an interesting theory, and it would explain how indeed we are all one race, despite the various traits and the various outer appearances. Now, that brings up a lot of things. Why don't we care about each other more if this is indeed true? Is one of the things. Another one of the things is, whether it's true or not, we need to start caring about each other more, because I think the other topics we've touched on tonight and the things we've been talking about in the past weeks should probably lead people to understand that not every government is for their citizens. I'll just put it that way and let you decide on your own how you want to interpret that. So thank you for being on here. Okay, well, again, it says no sound. I hope that wasn't the case, but I can't see for sure. No, shows my mic on, so hopefully it was on. Thank you for watching, everybody. Again, we're only on here for a quick amount of time tonight. We'll be back on tomorrow night at 7:30, and I hope you will join us. We're going to have the 4th presidential Republican debate, primary debate. It should be the last debate because, again, the voting starts in January of 2024. It's already December the 6th where I'm sitting, so we're just 25 days from the end of this year and the beginning of the election season officially in 2024. Something to think about. Again, thanks for watching. You want to get in touch with me, email americandoofus@gmail.com. If you want to help support the show, best way to do that is through Cash App at $ American Doofus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS with a $ in front of it. We'll see you tomorrow night or later on tonight. Thanks for watching.